What's up, guys? My name's KhaoticK, back at you guys with a low of the day. We're coming at you with a new one. And in this one, we're going to be reviewing Nortilidine's Euphoria. And it's another Euphoria of substance series. So we're going to get right to the video. Without further ado, hope you guys are staying high, stay legit, and most importantly, let me know what you guys are on, and let me know what you guys were up to this weekend. And yeah, just stay tuned for the rest of the video, and let's get right into that. So, Nortilidine, this one had a nod, I've never done morphine, so apparently it's very similar to that. Apparently, I guess it could be a little bit stronger than morphine, roughly the same potency. However, Nortilidine, bro, gave me that typical, it almost felt like a pharmaceutical nod. And it is a pharmaceutical in some countries. I'm not sure which ones in particular, but I do know that, yeah, it's actually a pharma med, essentially. So, yeah, it definitely felt like a pharmaceutical. Felt very characteristic of, kind of like a hydrocodone / codeine kind of high, but stronger than both of those. So, but it was, right on par with, maybe a low-dose oxy or something. Meaning, it felt pretty good. It felt really nice, okay? And yeah, with the Euphoria, though, I had, no tolerance going into this, so I would say roughly 50 milligrams would give you, a nod. Up to 100 milligrams, you could potentially have to take up to 100 milligrams because of the tolerance. It's definitely weaker than most opioids, though, but what I mean, about the nod, though, the nod felt very great. It was actually one of the more euphoric opioid RCs that I've done recently. So, and the safe ones. I'm only doing the safe ones, where I'm not doing the crazy fucking ones that are 10, 20 times fucking morphine and shit. That's way too much. So, anyways, I'm not doing those ones, but yeah, this one is a very safe opioid, I would say. It didn't have any crazy side effects. Not even constipation in a normal dose. It really didn't do that. I'm sure you'd have to push it to get those side effects. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. It just didn't have that many side effects to, write home about, which was nice. I very much enjoyed it. And this was a few months ago that I tried this. I don't have any more, unfortunately. I did use all of it. And sort of still have, sort of a permanent tolerance, bro. It takes a lot more now for me to a nod. So, I contribute that to receptors deactivated or something. I don't know, bro. Desensitized. I think sometimes the tolerance could be permanent because I had a little string of, using opioids. And I don't know, ever since then, bro, opioids have never really felt the same. Meaning the nod, if it ever comes about, you immediately build a tolerance to it. Meaning, you're just never going to get that same nod again, which is why you chase the dragon, why, that's even a term. Because that one dose, that euphoric dose, tends to not come back. I'm serious. Not even after a day or two. You might have to wait a week. The tolerance builds insanely quick. But, also, there is an addiction potential with this one, so watch out for that. Because it is one of the more euphoric RC opioids that I've done. So, yeah. Can't stress that enough. Very, very good for analgesia. Very, very good for, pain relief. And not too sedating, not functional. You can actually be functional on it, which I very much enjoyed. Who doesn't want to be functional on that? And, it kind of felt like a kratom, although not like kratom in a way. Kratom feels more natural. This one felt, again, like a pharmaceutical opioid. You could probably tell someone it was morphine and they'd probably believe you because, I don't know, it just obviously feels and seems very, very similar to morphine. So, pretty interesting there. But, yeah. Anyways, Nortilidine, this one felt great. I really can't say much more about the Euphoria. You really have to try it for yourself. And this one's still available. This is one of the rare opioids that are still available. I think ODSMT is too. However, yeah, most of those other RC opioids, I don't know if they got banned or what, bro, but they're out of stock. And, they're just gone. They're just fucking gone. So, that's not good. That's not great. And they're really cracking down on shit, bro. I've heard like they banned 2FTCK recently. All of a sudden, like January or something, bro. Like, please leave down in the comments more details about that, because again, I'm not living there, so I don't really know. But that's fucking crazy. I do have 4 grams of it though. Luckily, I had a vendor, just send me that instead of some of the other product. But now, I'm kind of glad he did, because if that shit's banned, it's gonna be even more rare. And I don't see 2FTCK being sold on like domestic dark web markets either. So, yeah, that's a rarity now, apparently. And other than that, it was great. It was a very, very awesome experience. I really, really much enjoyed it. Honestly, I would repeat it. That's just another, ticket time bomb right there, bro. Because it was euphoric, it is addicting, and anything addicting is just, obviously euphoric. So they kind of go hand in hand. So as much as people want euphoric drugs, watch out, bro, because you're teetering on the edge of addiction there and a liability in the end. So watch out for that. Watch out for your use. But man, oh man, it just felt so cozy. The euphoria was great. Like, it gave you that characteristic hugging kind of feeling, like warmed up. Everything feels great. Nothing's getting to you. No problems at all. Nothing's getting to you. And you have like energy. It fixes your fatigue. Gets rid of your fatigue. I don't know, it probably helps people with ADHD because it does interact with dopamine receptors, of course. And yeah, keep in mind though, if you're taking this every day, obviously after a few weeks, yeah, you will notice a sort of like withdrawal. Obviously, just because, yeah, it's addicting, okay? It's definitely addicting. You want to watch your use of that. And take a lot of supplements. Make sure you're eating. Make sure you're drinking lots of water to avoid any potential constipation or anything like that if you have problems with that, because that is characteristic of these drugs and this drug class. But other than that, Nortilidine, I liked it a lot, bro. This shit gave me that nod. Like, I really enjoyed it. And it was safe to sort of mix with other stuff. Not other downers, though, but it really had not many interactions. Like, it just really felt like it could go with anything. Almost everything. Definitely great with edibles. Definitely great with weed. It was amazing with all that. So, but yeah, I would say definitely great experience. Repeatable, which means it's more addicting, which means it's euphoric. And it's right up there with the other euphoric drugs that I've been reviewing, in its own separate little, series of videos. So, yeah, leave it down in the comments. Yeah, if you agree with the euphoria of the Nortilidine substance, I would give it its euphoria like an 8.5 out of 10. Not a 9, because it would have to be hitting every single fucking ballpark. It's like right there, bro. It's almost a 9 out of 10, I'll be honest. I'll put 8.75 out of 10. How about that? Because it just felt great. It was almost a 9 out of 10. Almost a 10 out of 10. I guess it would be if you didn't have to take so much of it, because out of a gram, you only get like about 10 doses or less. You only get like 5 to 10 doses out of Nortilidine, so it's sort of, yeah, it's pretty weak, but definitely on par with morphine in a way. Maybe it's roughly a little bit stronger than morphine, just a tiny bit. In my example, also, it apparently is not so active like orally, so you'd have to, absorb it buccally in your mouth or sublingually, because, yeah, I noticed that like when I did that and I didn't swallow it, it definitely hit a lot harder. So it absorbs a lot more. So with this one, you'd want to leave it under your tongue or something, because trust me, the bioavailability is a lot higher. Also, yeah, definitely great route of administration right there. And plugging as well, if you're into that kind of shit. That will work as well. That might go a long way. But Nortilidine, yeah, it does get an 8.75 out of 10 from me. I would definitely, drop this down as one of the more euphoric, I guess, legal RC opioids. So I found that, it was worthy of another video about it. So great experience, repeatable. And leave down in the comments if you guys agree with that rating there. And other than that, leave a like, subscribe, as well as share the video around to your friends and family if they're into this kind of thing. And most importantly, make sure to join my harm reduction and substance Discord at the top of the channel and in the link in the description below. And also check out my social links there. And yeah, join the community. We'd be much appreciated of you. And also consider joining as a member on the channel here to get exclusive member videos and early access to videos and much, much more. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are staying high, stay lifted, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.